Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Tone's Market Analysis for Wednesday, February 22nd. I will try and go through all my charts very quick today and try and get to Q&A, which seems to be what most of the people are here for, because I'm seeing from the live viewers that the majority of the people show up for the Q&A, but I care about the markets, so we will talk about the markets. I have my blog open. I've been so busy, I completely forgot to update my blog with the latest episode of Crypto Scam. It's actually, well, I wonder if I can magnify it up. It's actually really, really good. It's me and Andy Hoffman talking about the manipulation of markets like gold and gold, silver, and how that ties into Bitcoin. The conversation is a little longer than usual. It already has 2,300 views in just a day and a half, but a lot of them are also his viewers. It's been very, very popular. People are saying that it's my best in the Crypto Scam series, even though this was a little more of a debate, though I tried to keep it from being a debate. So please check that out and let me know what you think. I would like people's feedback as to where to take the show. Should it be more things like this or more going after altcoins? Because you know what? After the top 20 altcoins, I'm going to run out of ideas. Also, everyone is now emailing me about this scam and that scam and to scam bust this project or to scam bust another person. I am incredibly busy, so if you don't hear back from me, please let me know again in March when I'm back from Mexico. And also try to email me the links and stuff, because when you put links and comments to videos, and I am not the admin of those videos, those comments could be deleted. I have no control of that. Also, some comments on my video end up in the spam folder. I do get to them sometimes, and then I approve the comments. I do not delete people's comments, no matter how rude they are. You will see on some of the comments, people are threatening me. I don't care. I will only delete spam, obvious spam for cloud mining and whatever other garbage. I'll delete things that have absolutely nothing to do with the topic. Someone mad at me and wants to curse me out, it's kind of relevant, so I don't delete those comments. I mean, you want to leave a comment and curse me out, go for it. I don't really care. All right, right after this conference, I will be packing, though I should have done that yesterday, and head off to Acapulco. This is my 2-day seminar at the end of the conference. The speaking schedule is out. It'll be very interesting. I'm speaking on the first official day of Acapulco. I am following G. Edward Griffin, the guy that wrote the book, The Jekyll Island, about the Federal Reserve conspiracy. I personally don't really subscribe to those ideas, and I made a special presentation basically investing in a Fed controlled world. So that's the presentation I'm going to give. It'll be new, it'll be different around the entire time of the conference. All right, Magic Money. I think I've pitched this long enough. Please check out this movie. Please support. Tell me what you think. Leave comments. Let me know. It's my first documentary. The more people see it, the more chances I get to do more. Yeah, no, the first thing I pack is swimming trunks no matter where I go. If I go to Alaska, it'll be the first thing I pack. I've learned. I'm getting live comments, suggestions, which are very good, actually. All right, S&P 500, this is very, very simple. It was a green candle. It wasn't a new all-time high for the 25th day in a row. I have absolutely nothing to say about the stock market. It'll pull back sooner or later. And, for now, I'm just going to extend the arrow. I mean, I have absolutely no clue when it's going to start. If the pullback was going to start, it should have been back here, and then it should have been over here like a week ago. Market is strong. And what pisses me off the most about a strong market is how everybody was saying how bad Trump would be for the markets. And that just pisses me off to no end because I knew Trump was going to be good for the markets. I didn't know if he was going to win, but I knew he was going to be good for the markets. You can see it right here in the weekly chart. Election, Trump wins, 1 day of panic overnight, and then off we go. How high can stocks go? I have absolutely no ceiling for the stocks. That's also going to be my presentation. I'm going to try and make it funny. I'm going to try and make it interesting. And but I do need to explain to 2,000 people that throughout history, the investment is always stocks and it's not gold. All right, Dow Jones, same thing. Dow Jones did make a new high, so Dow Jones is leading the way. I don't know if that's good or bad. I need to refresh my Dow theory stuff. And because I don't know if that's good or bad, probably means it's irrelevant. Gold. Talked about gold last time. This is the daily chart of gold. Should probably zoom in on this. It's not really helpful. So what you see here is what looks to me like a symmetric triangle. I have no idea which way it's going to break. I'm still leaning to the downside. My only concern is that that's a daily double top, which isn't a weekly double top, so it's not as important. It's a daily double top. I don't like double tops. There's a high probability gold will go up all the way to like 1260, but that's probably going to be it. I'm not really giving it much more than that. Again, I'm going through these charts quickly so we can get the Q&A. If you have a question, please save it for when I start talking about Bitcoin so that it's at the bottom of the chat, because I know people just talk within the chat. And start with the word question, makes it much easier for me to identify them. Here's the weekly chart of gold. Again, we are stuck right here at formidable resistance of the 200-week moving average. The moving averages did cross on a weekly level, but I've been saying it since the day of the cross. This move up was unreasonably high and to me completely unwarranted. If I had to guess what caused this move throughout all of 2016 was, I guess, the election fears, but then they started to subside going into the election. And if it does go above this 200-week moving average, you got I see 3 clear points of resistance, and then this one, though this one is going to put me in a bind because it'll make a weekly double top, and I hate double tops, which means we could break out above it. Because I don't expect to have to make this decision, I don't think it's going to get there. So my worst case scenario for gold, my best case scenario for gold bulls is the declining trend line at around, I don't know, let's be generous, 300. And then down she goes. People did call me about gold this week, so I thought I'd take a look at the monthly chart, which we haven't looked at in a while. Here's a recent a couple of months run up. And look, we're going to bump right into this quickly declining 50-month moving average. And I think it's going to end badly. I see absolutely no reason for gold to stop right here. This is like a random, actually like random turnarounds are usually good. But just look at this chart, right? if you did not know this was gold, if you did not know the x-axis, if you did not know the x-axis, which is the date. No, wait, I'm retarded now, and I have a master's in financial engineering and math. If the dates on the x-axis are removed and the data on the y-axis are also, and if I'm getting these backwards, it shows you what a good master's and undergrad in math are. It also shows you how long it's been since I graphed something, which is actually making me laugh right now really badly. Anyway, if you remove all the details, right? Like if I showed you a picture of this and I did not tell you this was gold, what would you say? You would say that this sucker is going down to here, like all the way down. Like it's bad. It's a bad looking chart. Sorry, guys. Hate to be the bearer of bad news. All right. Sticking with gold. This is going to be the chart I will be talking about in my presentation. This is the gold versus the S&P 500 chart. I've talked about this in detail in prior videos. Also, if you find me on TradingView as Stone_LLT, TradingView is like one of the best blockchains that I've seen. They don't let me edit anything. I can't edit my username. I can't even edit a spelling correction in an idea that gets published. I mean, they really locked that thing down. Talk about immutability. Great job, by the way. TradingView, great job. Huge shout out. Everyone should be using you guys. You're not watching this video, but please get more historical data. I know I probably have to pay for it, but please, I would love to see the Dow Jones go back to like the 1800. I would love to see gold go back to like the 1800. Please get some historical data. I know it's expensive. I used to work, with Bloomberg on this shit, and it's bad. But try. All right. Anyway, S&P 500 has always provided a better return than gold, unless you were lucky enough to buy in between 1998 and 2002. If you got in during this area, like Max Kaiser, like Peter Schiff, like Andy Hoffman, who I just had a 2-hour video with, if this was the time you realized gold is a great investment, you have done very well. You have beaten the S&P 500 on your investment. And but if the S&P 500 goes up another 10%, that's probably no longer going to be true. I'm also assuming gold is going to keep going down, by the way, which I kind of am. All right, people asked me about silver, so here we go. Here's the daily chart of silver. Silver has been a little stronger than gold. You see that silver broke out of this trend line, and it's now, on the daily chart, silver looks fairly strong. The problem is on the weekly chart, right? So here's the weekly chart, and on the weekly chart, you are bumping right up against the 200-week moving average. And in the case of silver, the moving averages have not crossed. This also means that silver has been weaker than gold all the way down. It also means silver has more upside than gold on the way up. Did silver bottom at $14? I am still leaning towards no, and I am expecting silver to come back down along with gold. By the way, I could totally be wrong, and we can have, I don't know, hyperinflation tomorrow, and gold and silver will skyrocket, but stocks will also skyrocket. So then you'll be arguing with me what was the better investment, gold, silver, or stocks. All right, here's the ratio. I was saying that this ratio has been very, very positive when you hit this line here around 80, you would short gold and you would buy silver. This would be a multi-year long position, which is kind of unrealistic. Doing it with futures is very, very leveraged and very, very tricky and very, very difficult, and it will cost you a lot of money. Doing it with physical metals, you'll spend more money flipping your gold for silver and your silver for gold, unless you are a Peter Schiff, or I guess you are an Andy Hoffman, and you work with or for an institution that sells you metals. It would be easy for you to flip your position, probably. I don't know how much premium they charge their employees, or maybe their employees can just take the salary in gold or silver, right? So, for example, if I work for an institution where I was getting paid in gold or silver, not that I would, basically ever since 2015, I would request my salary in silver, and in 2011, I would request my salary in gold, right? And then I would flip my salary to silver. So these are long-term trends, and I think this might bump up one more time. And I wish there was an easy way to trade this pair, but it would be difficult. Like the premiums and transaction fees would eat you alive. All right, US dollar. I'm bullish on the US dollar. I mean, any weakness I always saw as temporary. If you're reading any like kind of crazy newsletters that were panicking in at any point in 2017 that the dollar is falling, please stop reading them. This is all it fell. We're still like at 10-year highs even now, or close enough to it within a margin of error. Euro's a basket case. Don't want to spend any time on it right now, but yeah. And I'm going to keep mentioning, I'm just going to say the words Le Pen. The moment Le Pen wins the French election, it's checkmate for the euro currency. On that note, the British did a very smart thing by getting out of that cesspool, and I think the British pound is grossly oversold. Though if the US dollar goes up, the British pound will not do well against the dollar, but I expect the British pound to do amazingly against the euro. Of course, I'm good at trends. I'm not so good at timing my trades, which is why I stick to other forms of trading for my money. And I try not to do too many directional trades. I've been talking about this head and shoulders since the first candle of this right shoulder. And I am so certain it's going to materialize that I would put money on it. But if I do, it'll probably not materialize. So had this arrow here forever, at least 2 months. I had this thing for a month or more. And I mean, if this actually goes to right here, like if every week of the next 5 weeks is a down line, I mean, if some hedge fund is watching me, they made a lot of money. Mexican peso, this really ticked me off 5 minutes ago when I saw it. God damn it, I'm going to be there tomorrow morning, just like implode. But no, I don't want it to implode. I don't want any violence while I'm there. So the Mexican peso, just for reality's sake, right? So the Mexican peso is a smidge away from where the Mexican peso was exactly 1 year ago. Okay, granted, people did panic, but it's 1 year ago. It's probably a pullback, and things will be bad for Mexican peso. But in all fairness, when I get to Mexico, it's exactly the same value as it was the second week of February for last year's conference. All right, Bitcoin. This is the time to ask your questions, guys, because I know the video is like on a 30-second lag. I say something, you guys hear it like 30 seconds later. So go ahead, throw your questions in there, and I'll try and get to as many of them as I can. I love this chart. I absolutely love this chart. This week has had the highest weekly open in the history of Bitcoin. And in 3 days, we're going to have the highest open for a weekly candle and the highest close for a weekly candle. The chart cannot look any more bullish once we break out above the 1150 high on exchanges that are currently alive, and then we break out above the all-time high of $1,242. And then we're going to hit parity with gold, and the headlines and the mass media will just do the rest. We're still in my channel. People make it in Miami. I was given this presentation. Who was there because they live in Miami, and they were making fun of this arbitrary channel. But you know what? Had this channel for almost over a year now, and it could not have been drawn any more perfect. I believe I drew this channel in 2015. Yeah, so over a year, and there it goes. And once we hit the top of the channel, I guess everyone will be popping champagne because it will be, 2000 will be in the striking distance here. Well, I'm not sure why I closed that. Let me bring that back. I might reference it. All right, hourly. Don't normally. I don't know why I started looking at this damn thing. No, I'm stuck looking at it forever. Let's try and extend this channel without like messing it up. This is actually like harder than it looks. You really need a steady hand, or everything is just going to get out of control in a hurry. See if I can get it out long enough, to last into next video. All right, good. Back in the channel, here is the, oh, I drew this one backwards. Oh, well. Here is the sub of the sub channel, which I'm probably gonna delete next video. Let's adjust it. Like, yay. Perfect. So we're above this green channel, back in my purple channel. The purple channel, if you're watching this for like the first time, this purple channel goes back a long way. I mean, a long way. This is hourly charts. I drew this thing like last month. Let's see. I mean, again, right, like people make fun of technical analysis, and we did dip under this channel for a little while, but we kept bumping up against it from the bottom, and the trend never changed. And by never changed, I mean I wasn't physically able to draw a downward channel, so I was never really worried. And now we're back near the middle of that channel, so we're all good. My favorite chart, the Brave New Coin Liquid Index. This price will update in about 30 minutes. I haven't looked at the price of Bitcoin in the last hour or two. I'm guessing it will be around 1135, 1140. Right now on this chart, it's 1123, so close enough. I was only off by a little bit with this green arrow that was drawn from like back here, actually. So I guess I came fairly close. I'm not expecting it to just go straight up, but the damn ETF is coming up, so you never know. So things might get weird over the next 2 weeks with the ETF. I may or may not talk about it during Q&A. That's pretty much all I had. Let's glance at the altcoin markets. Monero's been dropping. I know people asked me to like look at Monero and Litecoin. I really don't want to do altcoin analysis. There will only be 3 altcoins I might do an analysis of. I might do Litecoin, I might do Monero, and I might throw Steam up there because I don't understand why it's still worth 11 cents. It should be like it should be 0, but realistically, it should be like a penny or 2. That's all. It's not even worth that much. But yeah, so I don't know. Monero had like some big seller. Litecoin isn't realizing Lightning net yet. I need to look at a little bit more fundamentals around Litecoin and Monero. It's really hard. I don't only look at technicals. I like technicals, but I do need to know like fundamentals. And I don't know the latest status on Segwit and Litecoin. I don't know the latest status on Monero. Why is their own wallet broken now? Is Jax not integrating them? Like, these are just some of the things I hear. I have not started my research for Monero crypto scam. Yes, that episode is coming, but it might take longer than anticipated. I'll be in Mexico next 2 weeks, so it's possible there will not be a crypto scam till like mid-March or something, till I get back and continue my research. Just, one of me and 700 coins, and when you add cloud mining and Bitcoin Unlimited to the mix, it's complicated. Or my life's complicated and busy. All right, before I get to your questions, here's a very important question, and I wanted to talk about this. So a friend of mine sent me this message this morning, and I will read you this message. The only difference between what I read is I rounded off the number of dollars, and you'll see what I mean, and I rounded off the number of Bitcoins to kind of confiscate the actual numbers, right? But I tried to be like relatively close to what that person had. All right, so here's a real problem, a real Bitcoin problem. I'm coming to you because I got in trouble. I put 50 Bitcoins on sale at $1,000 at Poloniex, thinking I was going to go back. But LOL, it didn't happen. Well, that's not actually that funny. I was watching your videos on YouTube to try and get some signal on what I should do. I am honestly desperate, as they are part of my savings, and I want to leave them in Bitcoin again. But I do not know if there will be any dump or low in the short term. I do not want to lose my patience at first, but I wanted to ask you if you have any scenarios. I buy the current price and I lose the difference in dollars, or I keep Armando of patience and I expect a fall in price to re-enter. All right, so that's a problem. That's a serious problem. And I have gotten into that problem myself. Well, in two ways, right? Like I mean, it wasn't all my savings, right? Like I've committed at one point not too long ago, I committed to sell some Bitcoin to a friend as a favor. It wasn't even that much. And then we made the deal, and then but by the time we actually got together to do the deal, it was like a month, like 3 weeks later, and the price had gone up like over $100. And I offered my friend, like, look, can I just pay you the difference in dollars? I don't want to give up the Bitcoin because I don't have a way to replace those Bitcoin. And my friend tried to find another place to buy them. And then, a deal's a deal, right? I would have given them the difference in the money. But they couldn't find anyone, and I had to give it up. And then I was waiting for it to come back to that price, and it never did. It came close, but it never did. And even if it had come back to that price, I would not have had the I wouldn't have had a place to buy them because I don't buy from like Poloniex or Coinbase or any of those sources, right? So in this particular case, right? So he accidentally sold 50 Bitcoin because he forgot he had a sell limit. I have done this in traditional markets many, many times. Most recently, this happened to me down in Miami, and I almost threw my laptop across the airplane. What do you call them? The boarding area, because I logged into my account like 5 minutes late, and I thought I had removed a sell order on my position the day before, and when I logged in, like 2 minutes after the market opened, I realized I did not remove that position. My trade got executed, and immediately I missed out on so much gains. It was very, very frustrating. So the first thing you need to do is you need to admit this mistake. And now you have a bit of a problem because you're going to lose, like in that situation, if I use those same numbers. If I use those same numbers in that situation, that person would be out $5,000. They would buy back in right now, and right now it's actually 11:30, 11:40. So they would lose more than $5,000. So they would basically lose, instead of 50 Bitcoins, they're now going to have like 43 Bitcoins. Now that's bad, but it's not as bad if the price of Bitcoin goes to like $2,000 tomorrow, which it can. So in this situation, here was my answer. I would have bought back in the moment I realized the mistake, because you can't second guess yourself, especially when you're playing around with like your actual like life savings, for example. You don't want to take a chance, and waiting for a perfect buy, which may never come, could lead to you buying at the top. However, and I already see questions about Bitcoin Unlimited, which I'm going to talk about in detail in a minute. Bitcoin Unlimited is so bad. Like I can't even begin to describe how bad it is. And the reason why I'm going to get much more active against Bitcoin Unlimited and, friends be damned, is because I recently went back to a chat group that I used to be a part of. And that chat group has a lot of devs, or not a lot, but some devs from both sides, and a lot of opinions from both sides. And just the Bitcoin Unlimited propaganda and the people that are fighting for it is just so bad. It's a combination of stupid, incompetent, and just like nasty. It's really, really bad. And to be honest, it's actually scaring me a little bit, because they may have the numbers to cause some havoc. Anyway, I'll get to that in a second. Let's get to my friend's problem, what to do. So BU is a monster wild card. If only Bitcoin was just a speculative asset like gold, I wouldn't really care. But Bitcoin has such enormous intrinsic value of its user base. And I mean user base, not the people that are arguing for Bitcoin Unlimited. The user base don't even know that this debate's happening. That user base is so important. And the Bitcoin Unlimited people have absolutely no comprehension of the existence of this user base. So they are a monster wild card. And that's what I tell. And so if you're holding your Bitcoin, you're a believer in Bitcoin, a hard fork, game ends pretty much. I mean, Bitcoin might survive. It'll be like Napster. Napster survived. Will an altcoin take over? Probably not. It's just going to be messy. But chances are there'll be a centralized solution to the user base problem, which isn't really hard to do, by the way. Now that you know how to build confidence, and you realize that the user base of Bitcoin, they don't pay attention to this hard fork garbage. So you can easily trick the user base of Bitcoin to use a centralized solution, as long as that centralized solution it actually gives them privacy. Kind of like we trust some of our centralized apps to provide encrypted communication. There is absolutely no reason why an anonymous centralized entity can't provide a currency to the black market. And it's so I can't even begin to describe how unfortunate it is that the people at Bitcoin Unlimited just can't comprehend this. They can't comprehend it. You tell them that prostitutes use Bitcoin. I mean, they will be oblivious to this concept. It's really bad, really bad. Anyway, so you have this monster problem of Bitcoin Unlimited, and I got a friend in the space who always yells at me for panicking in these things, because I kind of panicked a little bit during XT, and that turned out to be, and that went away. And then I panicked a little bit during Classic, and that went away. And I think the legs on this one are stronger. So I'm slowly starting to mentally panic, trying not to actually panic. I'm not selling my Bitcoin. I'm not going to Monero. I'm not going to Litecoin. I am going to stick with Bitcoin. I'm going to stick on the SegWit fork. At this point, here's my worst case scenario, and I don't want to scare anyone. My worst case scenario is that the core dev team gives in to a compromise. That would be incredibly bad. That would cause me personally to lose confidence in our core developers like Greg Maxwell, like Peter Will, like Peter Todd, Adam Back, Luke Dash Jr., Eric Lombroso. I will lose confidence in those developers because I trust those developers and I trust them to make the right decisions. If they know in their heart that hard forking to a bigger block is dangerous, then they cannot compromise. If they compromise, I would lose faith that they believe in the sound technical ability to make Bitcoin the best possible cryptocurrency. And if I lose faith in those developers, I don't want to say I'll be out, but I'm not going to be the same, online personality recommending Bitcoin, which at the moment I am not doing because of this ridiculous debate. So to me, that's the worst case scenario. If Bitcoin Unlimited wants to hard fork and get the hell out, that's fine. They can do it. Bitfury is my favorite mining operation. They are believers in SegWit. They did the research and they do not want to hard fork. So as long as, by the way, that also goes for Bitfury. Like if Bitfury compromises, on hard forking to a bigger block, I would lose my confidence in Bitfury, which is my favorite mining operation. Again, I could be wrong, right? I mean, they could be scamming all of us. I have absolutely no idea. But right now, with the information that I have, and if more information comes to me, I will change my mind. So as long as Bitfury stays on the non-hard fork side and adopts SegWit, I don't care if they're in a minority fork. I don't care if they only have 3% of the Bitcoin hashing power. Maybe I will finally go and buy a miner. I will learn to be a miner. I will be like the Ethereum Classic people, which I don't know if you've noticed, but Ethereum Classic is getting more and more momentum as Ethereum is becoming more and more of a basket case. At this point, I am not worried about a hard fork as much. I think it will be bad. We will lose the user base. The price of Bitcoin will probably crash 50%. It will probably crash like 40% if the user base stays. If the user base leaves, there'll probably be a 90% price crash, in my opinion. I will not panic. I will hold on to my Bitcoin. I will not take the cash. I already tied, I tied my anchor to the ship. And by panic, I mean, I'll panic. I just won't panic sell, is what I'm saying. I'll hold on to it. I will stick with the non-hard forked side of it. However, if the core developers give in, I have a major problem. Anyway, you'll be hearing more from me about the hard fork in the upcoming months, days, months, whatever. All right, back to my friend's problem. You accidentally sell all your Bitcoin, 50 of them, at $1,000 by accident on Poloniex. Now the price is pushing 1150. Though on the screenshot it says 1120. I'm not sure what's dragging it down. Maybe China is trading at a discount or something, or the price crashed while I was doing this video. I'm too lazy to like look it up, but maybe I will. I see 1131 on Bitstamp, so I'll go with 1130. So the Bitcoin Unlimited scenario is a black swan. I have absolutely no idea. I believe Bitcoin will prevail. It has always prevailed. Now, in the meantime, the price is going up, and we have this stupid ETF coming up. I have so much content about the stupidity of the ETF. I don't think it should pass. I don't think it will pass. But speculation is driving the price up. How high will the price go in the next 2+ weeks leading up to the ETF announcement? I have absolutely no idea. No one does. But if the price shoots up to like 1,300, no matter what the SEC decision is, it's going to go down. If it goes up high enough, like if you look over here on this run-up over the summer, that happened like 3 months before the halving. If this run-up is unreasonably fast and big, no matter what the announcement is, it's a buy the rumor, sell the news situation. Okay, so if it runs up a lot, at that point you wait for the announcement, because no matter what the announcement, it's going to fall. It's going to either fall a lot if the announcement is bad, and it's going to fall a little if the announcement is good. Also, it depends on the announcement, right? I mean, like look at Janet Yellen and the Federal Reserve. It's not always the rate change, it's what they say. So a lot depends on what the SEC actually says as well in their decision, assuming they don't delay the decision, right? If the decision is delayed, nothing happens. There isn't going to be that much selling. Now, if it runs up a lot and the decision is no, it'll fall a lot. If it runs up a lot and the decision is yes, it'll fall a little. Now, if it doesn't run up a lot, if it like stays in this 1150 to 1200 area, then it had a reason. It didn't have an abnormal run up into the ETF. What happens then? Well, then if the decision is a no, there'll be a minor pullback. And if the decision is a yes, there'll be a huge buy-in, right? So my advice to my friend is you either buy right now or you buy, depending on where the price is, a few days before the announcement. So either you're taking a chance on a big run up to 1300 into the announcement, in which case you need to wait, because buy the rumor, sell the news situation, it'll drop. Will it drop back to 1130? I have absolutely no idea, but it's going to drop. But if it's leading up to the announcement and it hasn't gone up unreasonably, let's say we're at 1150 in 2 weeks, because people, stop buying the bullshit that it's going to get approved. Then you just sit there and you wait, glued to the, zero hedge or wherever the hell you're going to get the news from, right? And then if the decision is a no, watch the drop and buy in quickly, because the drop won't last too long. If the decision is a yes, you better be the first one to buy. So I would actually sell. I would actually put like a stop buy order if I was in his position. So basically, let's say the price is at 1175 on the 10th of March. I would say buy at 1201. So that means, or maybe not even that high, buy at like 1185, right? So if the decision is positive, everyone else is going to buy, and my order is just going to execute immediately on the buy. And if the decision is a no, then I'm going to let it drop, and then I'm going to try and time the bottom, which is difficult, but at least I know the trend. Okay, I think I answered the Bitcoin Unlimited question and the ETF question almost. I mean, if you want to know why I think the ETF is, dumb, why it's bad for the Bitcoin community, why it should not be approved, and why I don't think it should be approved, with those two do have some crossover. Please go to my blog, Liberty Life Trail, put an ETF into the little window, and you'll see a bunch of videos, or watch the recent Bitcoin group, or like the last 3 Bitcoin groups. All right, let me see if there's any other questions. What are the chances of a Bitcoin hard fork? I hear all the stuff about Bitcoin Unlimited. It seems like the worst risk for Bitcoin, but how likely is a split? Okay, so that's the thing I just went over. It's hard to say how likely the split is, but it's bad. It's bad. It's worse than I thought. I don't have time to constantly keep up with that chat and argue with all these people, but I will when I get back from Mexico. I'll have to find the time. What do I predict on silver with Trump possible taxes? I haven't heard anything on specific to taxes on silver. So if you mean like income taxes and corporate taxes, Trump is actually very bad for precious metals, just like Trump may be bad for Bitcoin when it comes to taxes, right? If Trump lowers your taxes, why would you use gold and silver to hide your money from the government? You wouldn't, right? If taxes are small. Why would you use Bitcoin to hide your money from the government? I mean, the use case is gone. So Trump lowering taxes is bad for precious metals, and it's bad for Bitcoin. But Trump will do many other things that are going to be good for Bitcoin. Do I think it's a good time to short trade Bitcoin? I don't, only because, look, I'm so worried about the hard fork and Bitcoin Unlimited. And there might be a little dip with the ETF, but look at my chart, right? I mean, my chart screams we're going up. My hourly chart is back in the channel. Like there is absolutely nothing in the charts to give you the impression that there is any reason for Bitcoin to fall. If you didn't know about Bitcoin Unlimited nonsense, then you'd have no idea there's anything wrong. So in this case, I'm gonna trust the math, the numbers, over my brain telling me to panic and sell some Bitcoin. I'm gonna trust the chart in that the trend is up. Right, here's another question. Do you think that mainstream investing wisdom about the stock market will not yield the promised returns since all the past data coincided with the era of fiat currency and central banking. That's not really a question. You see, that's an assumption that the future era will not have fiat currency and central banking, and that's a terrible assumption. That's an assumption people made in 1980, and a lot of them have died already, not realizing, the promise of hyperinflation in America. And considering how bad the rest of the world's central banks are, the U.S. is really like the U.S. central banking system is kind of like Bitcoin versus all the other altcoins. We're just so far like more competent and more stable than all of them combined. China is getting better. So maybe China is like the Litecoin to the US. Now, this may change, but it's not going to change tomorrow. Talk to me in about 10 years. I'm giving Trump a chance here to do some good with the economy. All right, let's see what other questions we got. Seems to me the chart is validating the financial situations across the world. With the arrival of Bitcoin, why should men and Yellen, who are potentially corruptible, be in control of the dollar? Well, guess what? Bitcoin is also corruptible, right? I mean, look at Bitcoin Unlimited versus SegWit. I think that's a complete hostile takeover of development of Bitcoin. Look, people are the same. I'm doing a presentation about the history of the stock market since the Fed, and I'm looking at headlines from 1929. I'm looking at headlines from 1987 during those stock market crashes, and people are the same. And then you look at the other stories on that day, nothing's changed. Nothing. Maybe I'll show some of those slides after I'm done with the presentation. Nothing has changed, right? People will always try and take over. And to me, the Bitcoin Unlimited and the big blockers trying to fork Bitcoin, that is a hostile takeover. I'm not even a conspiracy theorist. Maybe I should start. But if you believe that the Federal Reserve was a hostile takeover of the U.S. free market system, that is exactly what you should be saying about Bitcoin Unlimited. It is there is so much similarity there. And probably now I'm going to be the conspiracy theorist, right? Because I don't even think it was a conspiracy to create the Federal Reserve. But and I don't think it's a conspiracy to create Bitcoin Unlimited. But that's what it's going to look like if they succeed. It's going to look like a conspiracy to eliminate the smart devs. If they succeed, it'll be like the same thing. They don't think it's a hostile takeover. People that put together the Federal Reserve, I mean, yeah, the book Creature from Jekyll Island says that they were all conspiring to take over the banking system. But the other argument is, no, that was their best thinking to create a stable system after the financial crash of 1907, the financial crash, I think, of 1910, the financial crash, I think it was like 1896. These were monster financial crashes that were bad. And it's possible that the Federal Reserve was their best thinking to actually create economic growth. And you know what? I was a big believer in that too. But look back how far technology has gone in the last 100 years, and you should be happy. So, So don't be too just think about it carefully. Look, the Janet Yellen and the Fed, they're trying to do the best they can, and a lot of us disagree with them. And that's exactly how the Bitcoin Unlimited devs and that entire circle currently feels about our current core developers and our current people like me who want small blocks. They think we're preventing progress. So they want to take over to make things better. Will they make them better? I have no idea. But I believe that it's looking more and more like a hostile takeover. Some of the comments in that group, people are like, they're basically calling out threats. They were like, well, at one point, Bitcoin Core said, we will do a soft fork with SegWit, immediately followed by a hard fork to 2 megabytes. If we think that it's not contentious and everything is okay and it's not dangerous. And now Bitcoin Core doesn't want to do that hard fork. And people are trying to hold Bitcoin Core to the statement that they were going to do it. But in reality, Bitcoin Core, it's a huge decentralized group of developers, and they came to their own consensus that it's too dangerous to do. And they're not going to do it because it's too dangerous. But people are trying to hold them to a statement that they now know was incorrect and bad and something they should not have agreed to. And they're trying to hold them to that statement. And people in that chat group are literally saying, well, if you're not going to hold to your promise, you're not going to get SegWit in. And they're completely independent things, right? Like SegWit has nothing to do with hard forking. And they're basically holding SegWit hostage because Bitcoin Core developers don't want to agree to a hard fork because it's dangerous. And this just like started this week. This really, really bothered me. So that's why I'm kind of ranty at this at the moment. So yeah, so don't be, so I'm not as mad. I mean, because of what I'm seeing in Bitcoin and because of my continued education, learning about the history of financial markets, I don't blame the Fed like I did 3, 4, 5 years ago. I'm like, wow, you know what? We're having the same goddamn issues that the Fed was having back then and probably now. All right, I got a lot of questions and not a lot of time because I got to start packing for Mexico. Do you think we'll all have... I don't know if I want to read that. I actually don't know how to answer that. Sorry, Contraband. You might want to rephrase your question. I don't understand it. All right, I'm just looking through questions, guys. No, I don't think Roger Ver is a scammer. I don't. I like Roger. I just don't understand why he's doing this. I kind of like see the reason why he wants more transactions, but like per block, he just wants more transactions. I don't know why he wants more transactions per block. I'm sorry, I don't understand. Please go back to our year-end review video on the World Crypto Network. We gave away our like top, best Bitcoin company, worst Bitcoin company. We went through like a whole list. And my surprise of the year was Roger Ver. I'm sorry, I don't understand. I respected him a lot. I liked him a lot. We might still be friends. I have absolutely no idea. I don't understand what he's doing. I don't understand why he's doing. I don't know. I don't know. Could countries use Bitcoin as a world reserve currency? No, that's ridiculous. We can't even like, I mean, the Bitcoin might split in half tomorrow. I mean, no, that's crazy talk. Russia doesn't need to buy oil. China doesn't need to buy oil from Russia and Bitcoin to bypass the US dollar. China can buy oil from Russia with Chinese currencies. Come on, their oil is only priced in dollars. You're going to look, if some country, I don't know, let's name a European country, something not too big, not too small, right? Let's say Spain. Let's say, Iraq is no longer on the US banned list, right? I think the sanctions have ended, right? If Spain shows up in Iraq and offers them euros for their oil because Spain will get like a 5% discount, why on earth would Iraq not accept euros and immediately convert them to whatever the hell they want? Gold, dollars, Chinese yuan, whatever they want, or keep the euros if they're dumb, because the euro is going to fall in value, right? It's crazy talk. I mean, just think about it logically. Like who the hell is going to force a country to only sell oil in US dollars. We have Brent oil that's even priced, I believe, in British pounds, or it might be priced in dollars, but I think Brent is controlled in London. You show up somewhere and you buy it. That's insane. The oil is only priced in dollars. I'm almost certain you can buy it in any currency you like, and it's just instantly converted. Currency markets are like 20 times deeper than equity markets. It's very simple to convert $1 million in euros into US dollars in the currency market. Due to OTC fees, over-the-counter fees, have you ever bought Bitcoin directly off miners? In place of what? I've bought Bitcoin directly from miners, but they were small miners. They were local miners. They don't exist anymore, right? I mean, and a lot of them were like miners in the early days that now need to pay bills. I mean, I've never bought like a 25 Bitcoin block. I don't have that kind of money. Yeah, I mean, Bitfury's got to sell them somewhere. I mean, if Bitfury's smart, they're not selling them. They're holding on to the Bitcoin. The only way mining is profitable is if you borrow US dollars, mine Bitcoin, borrow more US dollars, sit on the Bitcoin, wait for Bitcoin to go up in value, pay back the loans, and keep the remainder in Bitcoin so that it makes more money. If you sell your mined Bitcoin for more mining equipment, you will go broke. And Bitfury is like the only one that knows what the hell they're doing, apparently. No, I don't have any connections. And I also, like, if you come to me to buy OTC, I will just direct you to somebody I know that deals in OTC Bitcoin, but it's still going to be KYC'd OTC. You can buy a 25 Bitcoin block, probably from a miner, but you're going to be KYC'd. I would not get involved in any kind of a transaction above $3,000 if it's a cash transaction, whether it's Bitcoin or a car or anything, right? Like it's you will never see me do a $3,000 transaction or higher in cash. Will I mention Segwit versus BU at Anarchapulco? I don't know. I'm thinking about mentioning it, though my presentation is not about Bitcoin, but I will sneak my views on Bitcoin at the end of the presentation. I might mention it, not as ranty as I just did, but with the same idea. Look, it's important. My unpaid job, my volunteer job, is to inform my viewers, which is now 75 live viewers, by the way, which makes me really happy. My job is to inform my viewers and my followers on what I think about Bitcoin and its price. That's it. That's my job. That's what I do. And I will be, friends are friends, but my loyalty to my viewers is going to come first. And whatever my opinion is on Segwit versus Bitcoin Unlimited, I believe it's an educated opinion. Someone might think I'm the biggest idiot in the world, and that's their opinion, and that's fine. So whatever my opinion is of how Segwit versus BU back and forth and potential avenues of which one gets adopted, how that affects the price. That is very relevant to what I do for a voluntary living. So if I am talking about the price of Bitcoin between now and the conclusion of this saga, if I don't mention my opinion on it and how it affects the price, I am not doing my fiduciary duty to my followers as to what I think about the price of Bitcoin. I do not actively trade Bitcoin. You don't have to believe me. I basically just sit and hold. My Bitcoin is in cold storage. I don't touch it. I don't want to touch it. I am holding on to it till at least 2020. I want to see one more halving. I will, go to Thailand and live somewhere for $100 a month in rent before I use my Bitcoin. All right. So I will just keep doing what I'm doing. For now, I'm still being able to, afford my apartment in New York. Hopefully that will continue with my profits in fiat trading, because I'm more competent in my fiat trading than trying to time Bitcoin. Anyway, I think most of you know that by now. Yeah, it's plenty possible to keep delaying the ETF decision because Bitcoin is incredibly young. They can delay it indefinitely because it's stupid. It's even stupid to make the decision now whether it's yes or no. Like even that would be dumb. You delay it. You delay it till till Bitcoin figures out what asset class it even is. Are governments buying Bitcoin? I doubt it. All right, more questions. Can I get Roger onto your crypto scam show and talk about Bitcoin Unlimited? I don't want crypto scam to be a debate. I really, really don't. I will talk about Bitcoin Unlimited on Crypto Scam, but it's not going to be with Roger. It would not be from a BU affiliated person. I'm going to try and get someone competent that is also technical, like a Peter Todd kind of host, like we did Ripple. I want to get someone competent that has looked at the BU code, that is fully aware of the both sides, and I'll try and do a crypto scam about Bitcoin Unlimited. And a lot of Whale Panda is a great resource. Aaron over there at Bitcoin Magazine, I think. Oh God, I hope I got that right. I forget where people write these days. He's a great resource. I mean, I'm gonna leverage them for some info. I haven't gotten around to it yet. I wanted to do Ethereum next, and there's just so much for me to learn about Ethereum. I know I've been talking so much shit about Ethereum for years, but now I'm actually trying to look into some of the details. Hey, I'll be honest with you. It's some of the parts are not as bad as I was making them out to be. It's still bad, but maybe not as bad. Do I wear boxers or briefs? I wear boxers. Unless I'm playing sports, which thanks to Bitcoin no longer happens. With GBTC already out there, why the approval of the new Winklevoss ETF important? What is the difference between GBTC and the Winklevoss ETF? There's a huge difference between GBTC and the Winklevoss ETF. I don't have time to get into it. I'm sorry, guys. I got to pack. I got to go to Mexico. Please just watch my previous videos. A great way to learn about GBTC, you can learn GBTC the way I learned about GBTC. If you go to my blog and you Google like ETF, there was one episode of Bitcoin News with Vortex where the guest was, I can't believe I forgot his name. Sorry, guys, I'm tired. From like ARK Capital, the guy that always tweets and is on Bloomberg sometimes. Yeah, he's very popular on Twitter. Chris Berg something. Sorry, I forgot his last name. Sorry, Chris. I forgot your last name. I hope I got your first name right. It's like I said, it's been a long couple of days. Where he educated me on how GBTC functions, and my mind was blown of how terrible GBTC was designed. It's bad. I really should do a crypto scam ETF episode. There's just so much to say. It's a whole hour conversation. They are very different. Maybe remind me. Maybe if I get to this question, sometime next podcast and it's early on, like now I'm already going an hour. If it's like the first or second question, maybe I'll get into it. Okay, all right, these are my last two questions, guys. Please don't send any more. If you could be all right, come on, guys. Can we stick to like Bitcoin questions? I'm tired. If I could be any dinosaur, this is the question I'm avoiding. If I could be any dinosaur, which dinosaur would it be? Well, I actually I wouldn't mind flying from place to place. So whatever those pterodactyls are, that would be cool. Other than that, a T-Rex was a scavenger and freaking slow. So whatever those velociraptors were in like the first Jurassic Park movie, they seemed kind of smart, fast, and agile. Seems more like my type. My origins are Russian, so that was the last question. All right, so we ended the last two questions on personal notes. That's good. I don't have to go on any more rants. I hope this was informative. I hope this was educational. I mean, I just got really pissed off about Bitcoin Unlimited, so this got a little ranty. All right, if you're in Acapulco, come by and say hi. Don't be mad if I don't have time for everyone. It's my time is really limited, and I still have to work on my 2-day seminar. I don't actually have this put together yet, so this I will be missing a lot, making sure that the people attending get their $200 worth, and they will, because you know what? I'm gonna do more stuff here than was taught to me when I paid $8,000 to learn all this back in 2005, I think. Maybe I'll find the receipt. And now I am doing the same thing that I paid $8,000 to learn. Back then, there was no YouTube the way it is now. There was no internet the way it is now. It was much harder to learn all this. Like now, this was early 2000s, and I paid $8,000. So with inflation, it's like 12, maybe not 12,000, but like at least 10,000 today. So, and I am now teaching the same class for 200 to 250. So anyone that thinks this is expensive, you don't have to attend. It's I mean, the only reason this even has this kind of a price tag is because I kind of want at least somewhat serious people to attend, and I don't want like 300 people asking dumb questions. So if you pay $200, you can ask, whatever dumb question you like. I'll be happy that you're there. But yeah, and of course, support Magic Money, my one and only documentary that I was in. Hopefully, I'll start being interviewed on bigger and bigger channels. All right, signing off, and definitely check out Crypto Scam number 7. It's about gold and silver and Bitcoin. Very different than my usual Crypto Scam episodes. All right, bye-bye, guys.